Hello, so I decided to make this video because, well, I was supposed to be recording this off my body cam, but it's a little difficult to access your videos and share them because you have to transport them first and then upload them, so it's like a lot of work, but I figured it'd be easier to just record this on my phone. So, I'm sitting here on this bench in this little Baltimore corridor of St. John's, and I'm just relaxing and I'm looking out at the bridge. I can't turn my camera phone around, but there's the bridge over there right in front of me. So I'm just sitting here, just admiring the view, just relaxing, enjoying my time, and I'm just starting to come to a kind of idea about what I'm thinking about right now. So basically what I'm thinking about is why I'm making the decision to kill myself. I think it'd be obvious that for some people in life that obviously are somewhat intelligent, not insanely intelligent, but intelligent enough to kind of formulate these kind of thoughts and views about not only themselves but the world, I think that this is kind of like necessary to kind of understanding why some people kill themselves, and they find a plausible, rational reason as to why they're doing it. And I think in some cases, when people kill themselves, it is a rational response to life. I think that sometimes lives don't get better, they actually get worse, and there's so many cases surrounding that all the way back throughout humanity. They're not isolated, they're all out there in the open, and it's just ridiculous why we're still questioning why some suicides can't be rational if some people's lives can't get better and they're only getting worse. And even if it's not getting worse and it's actually getting better, just the fact that they're having to just linger around in an environment that they don't want to be in whatsoever, regardless of where they are at any point in time, I think that's kind of self-evident too. And it doesn't actually come down to the person themselves, it's actually the environment. Like, it's the people in the environment, the things that that person has to be subjected to when they go into that environment. So I think that there are a lot of plausible, like acceptable explanations to this to a point. I mean, not going all the way through, but to a point, these explanations are very rational as to why someone would kill themselves, and it has nothing to do with suffering whatsoever. It's simply just somebody's reached an end point. Maybe they've enjoyed their lives. Maybe they're not interested in seeking out another day. Maybe just the whole grind bores them. You could be a millionaire, billionaire, and you could be the one random case that ends up killing themselves, and they just admitted that they don't find life meaningful, even with all the money they have. You could be that one case that just comes. Just imagine that scenario happening, playing out in real life with somebody. It's bound to happen at some point. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to live and to continue to keep going on, but you're not like untouchable to life. I mean, nature has power over you, and it's going to decide when your life is going to end. Pretty much, that's just how it is. It literally is. Like, even if you think that suicide is an early end, I'm pretty sure when we can come to like grips in terms of like the facts and conditions and all the circumstances that led up to it, like nature was pretty much pushing that, like it was weeding you out if you kill yourself. I'm not saying that that's how all suicides are, but for pretty much the majority of all human lives, it's pretty much the way it's meant to be, and there's no changing that. I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't use our own power if we do believe we have power to try to make a better choice or exist in a better circumstance, like situation, scenario, the friendships, the people you're surrounded with. Like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that, but certainly there comes a point in time where there are just a lot of people out there, and not just me, that have pretty much voiced this, I would imagine, all around the world, not just here where I'm at, isolated in this city, in this state and country. People have felt the same way about this, like I'm thinking right now. So it's not just some isolated random new thought that I'm bringing forth to you, or saying for you to believe it. It's just obvious that this is something that's happening like concurrently, like it's just running on end. and it's not stopping, and there's new victims every day that kind of fall into the situation. I wouldn't even say fall into it, because like what I'm saying, it's like whatever nature makes of you pretty much. So whatever happens, and there's really, for me, there's just nothing you can do about it. And so these people fall into these circumstances, and then they end up becoming victims themselves, and then they go around, peddling the same things that I'm saying, whether you want to call it peddling or just negativity or nonsensical or stupid. I would certainly say that there's plenty of other people that would have my back and say the same thing, in the same way that I'm, maybe not in the same way that I'm saying it with the same words, but they'll expound on it in their own way, and it'll definitely be comparable to what I'm saying, that some people really just can't take life, they can't put up with this, it's stressful, and it's really honestly nothing that comes down to actual suffering, like pain, even though we're so used to saying that, and even that in itself irritates us, to us believing that it is suffering. That's not what it is. Some people just don't find this life enjoyable. I mean, some people just don't want to do it. We're not nobody in the existence of humanity has ever consented to life. It's just happened. So really, we can't really honestly be held responsible for whatever we do, because that's just nonsensical. And that's not me peddling or saying we should all be irresponsible. No, now we're not taking it there. I'm not saying we should be irresponsible because that's just how it appears to us. I'm just saying that's how it appears to me, and that's literally just how it's playing out in my face, and this is why it has me thinking this way, and plenty of other people. It's just this world just doesn't seem fit enough or worthy enough to want to be in. So I mean, like, and if I'm battling some supposed mental illness, or I'm depressed, or this is illogical, irrational thinking, and you need to go see a psych ward. I've been in a psych ward over a dozen times throughout my life through multiple states, and it hasn't made my life any better. It's just made it worse, including the people that have been in there, that have worked there while I've been in there, and they've mistreated me. And that pushes you off an even further ledge, where it's almost as if, okay, well, I'm in this environment and you're here providing services to me. You don't have to do anything you want. If I'm being disrespectful, you can just ignore me and not even talk to me at the most minimal level. And it's just like at what point do you start to like think like, okay, well, I've been in a psych ward all these many times, and I'm being treated this badly, and putting up with all this, and then moving to different states and trying to have a better life, and trying to do this and trying to do that, and thinking different, and meditating, and not drinking, and maybe using marijuana a little bit more than I usually do, or any sort of anything that I could possibly stop to think and ponder on for like 10 minutes out of any day, every day, if I wanted to. Like I don't see any point in putting up with any of it. I don't find it really rational to have to deal with. And it's not really suffering. It's just, what is the point? Like like, what is the point of having to deal with this? Like, because my parents had sex, and that's why I'm here. That's literally why I'm here. I don't I don't adhere to spirituality or to religion or anything, so I can't really say, well, God brought me here, because I would literally look at the world, and I'd probably be even more insane than what I would be right now if I actually believed in religion or tried to be a spiritual person, because I just know it's almost like I'm going through the motions of something that I don't really believe in, and I can just like force myself to do it, but it's almost going to just make the situation even worse. I don't know if other people have experienced that. I'm pretty sure there has been, but it's something along those lines. It's like you've touched into spirituality, religion on the smallest level, if anything, like anything you could possibly think of, to like reading books about it, or practicing it, actually like actuating it, actualizing yourself. Then it's like, okay, well, it's just, it is what it is. I don't really see, like, even looking into like philosophy, like there's any point in doing that either. I mean, you just keep doing all these things over and over again, and it's like, what's the point? You can read all these books and do all these things, it's not really gonna matter. I mean, you're just killing time. For me at this point, that's how I'm living my life, and I'm just like, what's the point? Like, I'm gonna just do this till I die. I mean, how old am I gonna be? Like, as far as I know, my grandmother on my mother's side died when she was in her mid 70s, and my grandmother on my grandfather on my father's side died when he was 82. So, like, he lived a pretty long life, and then my grandmother died when she was 86. So am I gonna live for another 50 years? even like drinking and smoking and doing exactly the same things they did, am I really gonna live another 50 years, maybe develop, you know, COPD like my grandmother, and then be on a machine, like a oxygen tank, like, you know, like, is that how I'm gonna live until I die and then that's it? I just can't imagine this life. But that's honestly how I feel about this, and I'm just gonna end it. I think I'm gonna talk a little bit later about this, but at this point, that's pretty much it. That's all I can ramble before I start going nuts and forget what the fuck I'm even saying. So I'll leave it at that. Peace out.